Hello everyone, Loserkiller here, and welcome to our third video review of our MOC from the Abyss series. So today it's another gang that I'm going to show you thanks to Jaas, which represents his gang, and the gang itself doesn't really have a name, just a code name, which is Arsonist. So I think it kind of like talk for itself. So yeah, not much about this gang except that they like to play with fire and burn a lot of things. So yes, Jaas. So Jaas was inspired by a MOC which was not created by me. The MOC was called Gear and which was created by Snapdragon back in 2009, and I decided to reuse his body frame to make my own MOC and to obviously expand on this type of species. So let's begin with the body frame first. So you can see it uses the Vaki's head as a waist. So we're going to use this part to link the legs to it. So thanks to this little axle hole right here. Then we have the double connector, so a small one, which is going to be useful, well, quite useful to link the arms and also the head. So the head will be linked thanks to this ball joint, and the arms will be attached thanks to this axle hole. And as you can see, for the body armors and the back armor, we're going to use baroque foot, but obviously we are not going to be able to link them in a traditional way, so we're going to use some rubber bands right there, which are going to be linked to the connector and both foot. So this technique might not be liked by everyone, but I think it does the job quite nicely, so I'm okay with using it. And as you can see on the original MOC, obviously you can see picture of the original MOC to see what I changed or not. There was no baroque foot on the back. So that was one of my decisions to make it look less empty. Next up, we're going to add some parts on the sides, so some baroque shields. And as you can see, thanks to the hole in the middle, we're still going to be able to use the axle hole. Next up is the head. The head is quite simple, it's a custom head, but really made in a simple way. So you have the ball joint right there to the neck, then a connector and two baroque eyes to make the eyes, and we're going to use some slicer part right here, or robots in the US, add another baroque eye, and thanks to the hole in the connector, we are just going to be able to fit the two parts well together, and it looks like a beak. So yeah, a flying character in case you didn't notice. And that's also why I choose to reproduce this MOC, or well, to use this body frame, is because I thought to myself, well, a character who likes to play with fire and is able to fly is kind of like an interesting concept, and obviously in terms of how he attacks, it can be quite interesting, I think. So now we're going to move on to the arms, and first the wings, as you can see, which are linked to this axle. So one of the things that I like about this MOC is the gear used as a way to link the wings, and the gear, as you can see, is quite useful because thanks to it we are able to just move up and down the wings. So it's an easy way to put them on the back or to really open them, and so the character can fly. The second pair of wings was one of my ideas on the other end. So we're going to attach this axle here, and then put the second arm, so the left one. Nothing really complicated for the arm, as you can see, it's made in a simple way, but I think it works. Plus, I really like this worksheet part. I think they look really terrific, and really they have a kind of like a mechanical aspect, which I really like, and which I really try to put all over the MOC. You're going to see that with the legs. As you can see, these little pieces here and there, I put all over the MOC to make it look more mechanical, to have more like an industrial feeling. Excuse me. You have the leg. So you can see, once again, it's quite simple, nothing really complicated. And we're going to attach this part here and there. And now we are nearly done with Jaas. One thing remaining is his weapon. So let me just build his weapon, and then we're going to move on with the articulations and all that stuff. But for now, yeah, let's just end it with his, well, obviously, he likes to play with fire, he has a flamethrower. So it's quite different from what I envisioned at the start. I really thought I was making more like a do-it-yourself do-it-yourself flamethrower, so with like some kind of like steel parts and stuff like that, and the flame really apparent. But at the end, maybe because of a time constraint or things like that, I ended up with that, which is really, which has really a more futuristic look than what I wanted at the start. So it's quite simple. We're going to use these parts, which are, for those who are not in the know, which are Tor and Nika foot. As you can see, one thing which is quite nice about this part is the number of pinholes. We have 4 pinholes, which are all going to be used. So the first 2 are going to be used to add these 2 axle holes. So one of them, as you can see, is blocked thanks to this part, which is the part which represents where you're supposed to put the gas, excuse me. And then we're going to use the whole of the orange part to link the cannon itself, and also the handle for the flamethrower. The 2 other holes will be useful to link these 2 parts, which are going to add a rounded shape to the overall shape of our flamethrower. But also I'm going to add some softer part. So yes, it looks like that and like that. Still, I think it's quite interesting because this whole dark white part kind of look like, in my opinion, a motorcycle motor or motorcycle gas tank. And I think it can be interesting in the storyline if Jaas used an old gas tank from a motorcycle to make it its own gas tank for his flamethrower. So I think even if it's not really the design I wanted at the start, I think it can still be worked on in the storyline aspect. So the weapon is like that. It can be put on his back if you want. We're going to do that for the turnaround and for the articulations. And then I will show it on his hands. So let's just adjust. Let me just adjust my webcam. So once again, it's really a tall MOC, so it's quite hard to show you everything. I think, okay, good enough for me. Let's just, yeah. It's all right. So the turnaround first. Like that, and maybe just unfold his wings. Okay, and in terms of articulations, well, it's quite simple. The legs are well articulated, as you can see. You can really move them up like that. So obviously it blocks against the connector, but apart from that, it's really well articulated legs. Obviously, the waist part is articulated, which you are able to make pose like that. Even if I have to admit, it's not really the most useful. At first, I thought that, yeah, a ball joint on the body was quite useful, but for this MOC, not particularly. I do not really know why, but when I took pictures, and I took a lot of pictures of my MOCs, it didn't really come in that useful. So yeah, it's there, but okay. You have the arms then. The arms are obviously way more limited than the legs, because you can see it blocks here, so you can't really do that many things, excuse me, and it also blocks there, so up to 90 degrees for the elbows. Still, you can move the hands like that, the arms like that, which is quite interesting, but apart from that, nothing really to talk about. The head can move down and up. It can move way higher up when you do not have the flamethrower on the back and on the sides. So we're going to put down the flamethrower. And I think we are just done with this MOC, because I do not really have many things to say. So obviously, a flamethrower without a flame will be useless. So here's the flame I used, the one from the Tayu Olda sword. Do not really ask me why, I just thought the parts look good, I think. Plus I think, because the flame is quite thin, it kind of looks good with Jaas, which is also tall and thin in terms of looks. Okay, so I think that's it. And in terms of what I think about my mock, I don't really have any big complaints, I have to admit. So obviously some articulations are worse than others, but apart from that, really, yes, the flamethrower, like I said, I really would have want to make a more traditional one, but I didn't really have time to modify it, and I have kind of keep it like that for 3 years, so yes, that's kind of my fault. But yeah, if there is one thing that I would change on Jaas, it's the flamethrower. Apart from that, I think it's a quite good looking mock. I really like the color scheme with the dark red, kit orange yellow, and the all dark gray. I think it's meshed together quite nicely. And yeah, I kind of like this mock personally. But that's just my opinion. Obviously, it's quite simple. It's not the most complicated mock ever, but it looks quite good. So yeah, I'm fine with it. And obviously, if you have any comments or questions or well, things you wanted to say, feel free to post them in the comment section of this video. I will happily answer them. I also remind you that in the description part of this video, you will be able to find links to the full gallery of pictures for Jaas. So if you want more pictures of him, well, feel free to click on it. And also you will find the link which will show you Gear. So remind you, Gear was the first mock to use this body frame, as was created by Snapdragon in 2001. So obviously, all credits goes to him for the body frame. And I think that's all. So see you later for our fourth video. It will be another gang, even if it's not really a gang, but I think we'll see that in due time. Let's just end with this little teaser, and yeah, see you next time. Bye-bye.